welcome everybody. It's Rose Smith here from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you so much for joining me for the awesome Aries October horoscope. It's a big month this month. There's a lot happening for everybody. We start the month with Mercury retrograde. It's turning direct on the 3rd, around the 2nd or the 3rd. We also have Pluto and Saturn turning direct as well. So this will give us all a big push forward so we can get on and do what we want to do, basically. There's a solar eclipse later on in the month in Scorpio, which could be quite intense and emotional. But it's also that kind of situation where even if it is emotional, it gets us to do something and to achieve something. Yeah, so there's also a thing called a Grand Cross that starts the month for most of the signs, and it's involving the moon, so it's only for a few hours, but just watch on the 1st of the month because it is the 1st of the month. It's like sets up the template for the month. You know, that if there's some sort of confrontational or some sort of challenging situation, okay, for everybody. So yeah, just be a bit cautious about that, but it could put you in a position where you're going to make a decision about something, so it could be quite important. Okay, so just briefly what I do is I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you, and then we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth. If you are new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the board and we'll look at these cards and see what they have to say. There's so much happening here, but let's just have a look at this. The first 2 weeks of the year, of the month, the first 2 weeks of the month, and I'll close my eyes. Now, what do I see? Something about a wardrobe. This could be to do with your identity, and you do have the full moon there, so there could be a bit of a shake-up, and especially with Jupiter going retrograde and going back into your 12th house here, could be a bit of a shake-up around your appearance, or perhaps your values, how you approach the world. You've also got Chiron underneath there as well, so that's like the wounded healer. So you might decide that there's a situation that you're not really pleased with, or that you've, somewhere that you've been hurt in the past, and now you want to do something about it and heal yourself, or update your image in some way. But let's see what card comes out now after I've said all that. And it's the Star card. We've got that one underneath, but I'm not going to read that one because this one came out first. So the Star card, this is all about your hopes and dreams and sending your wishes out into the universe. Okay, so it's fairly important. It's a major arcana, and the universe hears all of your feelings and your thoughts. Not that they're spying on you as such, but they do understand what your situation is. So it's like you send those hopes and dreams out into the universe, and get in touch with your subconscious. Okay, so it's about what's going on in your heart, not your head. Okay, because you might think you know what is right or best for you, but sometimes that's not in alignment with your heart. So coming from your heart, that's really super important. She's dressed in, I know on some monitors this looks blue, but it's actually aqua, so it's green and blue together. The heart chakra and also the throat chakra, and it's about expressing yourself, your creativity. But yes, some of you might have some sort of issue going on with your throat, on a physical level. So if you've got anything like that, please go and seek medical attention. Okay, so that's the first one, the Star, to start the month off for you. Awesome Aries. Now the second half of the month, closing my eyes, and I'm still seeing aqua. It's a very green sort of aqua that I'm seeing now, and an umbrella. So the tears of the past are being washed away with the rain, but fairly soon the sun's going to come out and it will be a bright sunny day and you'll start a new life. The card that comes up is the 7 of Cups. Okay, sometimes this can indicate a situation where you need boundaries, and you need to be able to be assertive and not let people sort of, walk all over you. But it's also about searching, searching within and without. Maybe your imagination is super strong at the moment as well. So I never see that as a bad thing. However, it is important to keep your feet on the ground with this card. The energy is across various areas of your life, and it's good to be practical, but allow your imagination to come to the fore at the same time. Okay, so that's the second half of the month. Alrighty, let's look at your horoscope now. I'm just going to make this bigger, like that, and put that like that, so you can see. Bear these cards in mind. I'm going to put them on the side here because they often come up when we're talking about the astrology, okay? Okay, so quite a busy month. Mercury turns direct on the 3rd. We already mentioned that. The solar eclipse on the 25th in Scorpio, up here in your 8th house, basically, of intimacy and shared resources. I'll talk about that more in detail. Here's the Grand Cross that I mentioned. Because the moon's involved, the moon will quickly move out of the way. So this is only for some hours, probably in the afternoon of the 1st, but, could also be at some other time of the day. So it's quite a challenge with all these sorts of squares. But with squares, what the challenge means is that there can be some sort of reward or some sort of gift that you get out of the challenge. So although this is not, it's never an easy situation, it can pay off for you long term. We've got Mercury retrograde at that point, and it's here in your 6th house of work, and also your health. The moon, which will move, and then you'll just have this T-square on the bottom with Jupiter, Mars and Mercury. And all their energies sort of blend, but it does affect your identity, how you approach the world, your ambition or your energy in communications or maybe your local area, and your work or health as well. We've got Pluto and Saturn turning direct, Jupiter going retrograde on the 28th, going back here to Pisces, illuminating things in your spiritual world. And so that would be a great time to have some self-reflection, have some time out. And Mars also going retrograde back here into your 2nd house. So when Mars is retrograde, sometimes you feel a bit flat. You don't have the motivation or the energy because it's going into the 2nd house. That could affect your finances or your possessions in some way. Okay, sometimes the energies with retrograde, sometimes the energy is sort of internalized, so you're thinking about things more than it happening in the external world. Okay, so let's have a look at your horoscope. From the 30th of September to the 2nd of October, Venus is opposing Jupiter. This is actually quite a favourable sort of energy for having fun. You want to go out and play and have a good time with your friends. It's also a great time for social events, and it's hard to say no to your favourite food or your chocolate cake or whatever. So you might be feeling a bit extravagant in some way, and you're also probably feeling quite generous towards other people, and you probably feel pretty good now. So it's actually a beneficial sort of energy, but of course with Jupiter, make sure you don't go overboard, overspending or overindulging, enjoying too much of a good thing. The 5th of October sees Mercury, it's gone direct now, and it's conjuncting itself because remember it went direct on around the 3rd. So there may have been some confusing miscommunications and misunderstandings, but now you can sort of move forward with a more sharp, clear sort of mind. You're probably more alert now, and you can probably comprehend, new information that comes across your way. and you're likely to articulate your ideas very well. It's a great time for making plans or strategies or beginning study. The 29th of September to the 4th of October sees Mercury retrograde opposition Neptune. Yeah, not a good time for making important decisions or signing contracts for this. Your communications with other people could be misunderstood, or there could even be some sort of deception, because Mercury does have a bit of a reputation as a trickster. And when it's retrograde, that might be amplified somewhat, or perhaps your thinking's more fuzzy than usual. So, yeah, watch for that. Sometimes under this sort of influence, you might be coming more from your ideals rather than your logical mind, okay, because your imagination is very active. So it is a great time for writing or singing or, getting communications done that way. The 5th to the 8th sees Mercury direct, and it's trine Pluto, bringing great depth to your conversations. Just watch that, because people are likely to tell you stuff in confidence. So just watch that you don't inadvertently, reveal any secrets or anything like that. You could ask quite penetrating questions that get right to the core of the matter, or people just want to talk to you about intimate sort of subjects. It's also a great time for solving complex problems or to find things that have been lost or hidden. It's time to really learn about your own subconscious. Where are we? 5th to the 8th, the same date. So while that's happening, it's squaring, Mercury is also squaring the moon. So there could be a lot of stuff come up from your past, and you're having memories of the past. And it might not be very logical, and you might not be feeling very objective, but that's okay. But it is a good time to resolve any sort of ongoing grievances you might have had with a particular person. And daydreaming, remembering things in the past is quite likely. The 8th to the 18th sees Mars squaring Neptune. This is also, can be a depleting or confusing time when you're just feeling a bit unmotivated, you feel a bit flat, and you probably need to be a little bit gentle with yourself and not try to push yourself too much now. And again, your imagination is skyrocketing, so you might have some sort of fantasy or strange desire coming up, maybe have cravings, different cravings for food, for example. But if you are into anything creative, like you're an artist or a musician, you could feel very inspired now. The 9th sees the Hunter's full moon here in your sign. So it could be a little bit of turbulence around your identity, and I brought that up before about, wanting to update your identity or how you approach the world. That's right, the vision of the wardrobe. So you might really be feeling it around this time. The 10th sees Mercury entering Libra over here. So it's going into your 7th house of committed and significant relationships, and it doesn't matter whether they're personal or business, but these are the people that are really important to you. Marriages and other close partnerships. There could be some sort of settlement or resolution of an issue, especially if it's been going on a while. And if you have any legalities going at the moment, then there could be some movement there. It's a good time to seek out the opinions and advice of other people who are probably more objective than you, and that will help you clarify your own thoughts. The 11th of October to the 22nd of October sees Mars squaring Mercury. Watch this one because it can sometimes cause arguments. There can be sort of verbal battles about things. So take a deep breath. If you've got to bring something up, try to be tactful and think about the consequences. Watch for impatience and frustration. Okay, the thing with Mars likes to push you into the future, and so sometimes Mars is a bit too forceful. So when you're speaking, make sure that your tone of voice is not too forceful. The other thing that Mars can do is cause headaches. So much energy going on in your head, you can't shut your head off, and it can cause sleeplessness as well. 23rd of the month sees Venus entering Scorpio, which is the 8th house, and there's quite a party going up there. Here's Venus here, and so a lot of energy around joint resources and intimacy with other people. And the Sun also comes in here as well. So we've got Mercury, Venus, and later on we've got the solar eclipse, the South Node, and the Sun. So it is a really big gathering. There's a lot of energy around these really sort of deep subjects, and deeply and compellingly sharing with another person. Yeah, so extra intensity there. You could also meet some sort of benefactor who helps you with joint investments or assets, and financial issues are likely to be more positive, especially with the Sun. It brings insight and awareness so that you can see what's going on and you want to take care of business. And your deep personal relationships are likely to be more honest. There's discussions that are honest discussions that get to the core of the matter. We also have the partial solar eclipse there, which brings a very potent time about investments as well. Be cautious you don't overreact to a situation, especially with all of this energy, because there is so much, and it's almost like that any overreaction could be part of a habitual pattern rather than what you'd like to say, or rather than what you really think. It's sort of like a pattern of energy that's coming up, so just watch for that. Jupiter conjuncts your ascendant from the 17th to the 12th of November. This gives you more confidence and optimism. You're likely to have more faith in yourself, and you'll probably be able to be more successful as a result. You project yourself with more confidence, and you receive a welcome response from other people, most probably. Jupiter goes into Pisces, so retrograde here, which I mentioned before, meaning you become more internally focused, and it's quite a spiritual time. However, from the 17th to the 12th of November, Jupiter is square your MC. So this is often a sort of situation that can be really good or not so good, can go either way, but it's like you try to improve your career or your work, and you may look for a new job under this, or look for a promotion. It's like you want a better situation. It doesn't really indicate whether you'll be, successful, but it indicates that the desire's there. So you could be certainly thinking about it. You may go for it. Just be cautious you don't sort of become overconfident. That's the only thing with Jupiter. Then we have Mars opposition the Moon from the 22nd to the 6th of November. Do watch for impatience and issues with children, especially. You could feel a bit frustrated or irritable dealing with a spouse or with children, and there's sort of unresolved feelings and things from the past that might trigger some sort of emotional outburst. That's okay, we all have them. On the 29th, Mercury enters Scorpio. Lots of discussions about your joint resources. Again, joins the party up there. And on the 30th, Mars goes retrograde, and here's Mars here. It goes back into your second house. And as I mentioned before, you could be flat, feeling a bit flat or unmotivated about your finances or your possessions. Maybe you would normally work X amount of days and you cut back and you just don't feel motivated to do any more, or something like that. Alrighty, so that's your horoscope. I hope this is useful for you. Thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell right now. But most importantly, have a wonderful month. It is a mixed bag. There's some really positive things there and some things just to watch for as well. Okay, I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.